June wiped the sweat from his forehead as he fixed another broken air filter. The massive space station, Constellation, had thousands of these filters, and it seemed like they all broke at once. Being a human maintenance worker on an alien space station wasn't easy, but it paid well enough. "June, come in." His radio crackled to life. "I'm here," he replied, putting down his tools. "Report to Level 7, Section D immediately. You have a new assignment." The voice belonged to his boss, Mr. Doe. June sighed. Level 7 was restricted. Only scientists and high-ranking officials went there. Something must be seriously wrong if they were sending a regular maintenance worker. 30 minutes later, June stood outside a sleek office door. The sign read Dr. Yuna Kim, head of Xenobiology. He knocked gently. "Enter," called a tired voice. Dr. Yuna sat behind a desk covered with papers and strange-looking samples. She was Korean like June, but that's where the similarities ended. Her white lab coat and serious expression showed she was important. June was just a worker in dirty overalls. "You must be the maintenance worker," she said, not looking up from her tablet. "Yes, Mom." "June Park. What needs fixing?" Dr. Yuna finally looked at him. Her eyes were sharp but had dark circles underneath. "The environmental controls in Research Chamber 12 are malfunctioning. The temperature keeps dropping, and we have sensitive specimens there." She handed him a special access card. "This will get you to Section D12. Follow the main corridor, turn right at Junction B, and then left at the third hallway. Do not deviate from this path. Do not enter any other rooms. Fix the controls and leave immediately." "Understood." June nodded. "Yes, Ma'am. Straight there and straight back." "Good. Security will be watching." She returned to her work, dismissing him. The restricted section of Level 7 was different from the rest of the station. The walls were pure white, the floors polished to a shine. The air smelled clean, almost too clean. June felt out of place with his toolbox and dirty boots. He followed Dr. Yuna's directions carefully. Main corridor, right at Junction B. But when he reached the third hallway, he paused. There were two hallways, both marked as the third. One had a small 3A and the other 3B. Which one did she mean? June muttered to himself. He chose 3A and turned left. The hallway became darker and colder. This didn't feel right. June was about to turn back when he saw it. A massive door at the end of the hall. Unlike the other sleek doors on the station, this one looked ancient and heavy. It had warning signs in 17 different languages. Curiosity got the better of him. He approached slowly and noticed a small observation window. June peered through. Inside was darkness, except for a soft blue glow. As his eyes adjusted, June's heart nearly stopped. A huge creature floated in a tank of clear liquid. It looked like a bear, but much larger than any Earth bear. Its fur shimmered with blue light that pulsed gently like a heartbeat. Around the creature were dozens of tubes and wires connected to its body. June couldn't look away. The bear-like creature seemed asleep, but something about it radiated power, even in this trapped state. The sight filled him with both fear and a strange sadness. A soft beep from his communicator broke the spell. "Worker 7294, you have deviated from your assigned path. Return to the main junction immediately," said a robotic security voice. June backed away quickly, but couldn't forget what he'd seen. That creature wasn't just any specimen. The security, the ancient door, the warnings, whatever it was, the station was treating it like the most dangerous thing in the galaxy. As he hurried back to the proper hallway, June couldn't shake a troubling thought. The creature's face, even in sleep, looked like it was in pain. June couldn't sleep that night. The image of the glowing bear creature kept appearing in his mind. Why was it locked away? What was it? The next morning, he finished his regular maintenance tasks quickly and headed to the station's public information center. The center was nearly empty except for Ta, a data analyst who often helped June with technical problems. Tai was typing rapidly when June approached. "Hey Tai, can I ask you something?" June pulled up a chair. Tai looked around to make sure they were alone. "Sure, what's up?" "Do you know anything about Level 7, Section D? I was there yesterday." Tai's eyes widened. "You were in the restricted zone. How did you get clearance?" "Dr. Yuna sent me to fix something. But I got lost and saw something strange. A big creature in a tank, like a bear with blue glowing fur." Tai stopped typing and lowered his voice. "You saw specimen K7. And you're asking about it openly. Are you crazy?" "What's specimen K7?" June leaned forward. Tai sighed. "Let me show you, but you didn't hear this from me." He typed a complex code into his computer, bypassing the station's security measures. A file appeared on the screen with the words "Classified" stamped across it. "This is all I can access without triggering alarms," Tai explained. "Specimen K7 is a stellar ursid captured over 300 years ago. They're supposed to be extinct now." Jun read the file carefully. The stellar ursid was described as the most dangerous predatory species ever encountered by the Galactic Confederation. It could absorb and manipulate energy in ways scientists still didn't understand. The file mentioned containment protocols and research value, but said little about the creature itself. "Why keep it locked up for 300 years? Jun asked. "They study it, test on it. Its body can create energy from nothing, breaking all the laws of physics. Imagine what that's worth." Ta closed the file quickly. "Look, forget you saw it. People who ask questions about K7 tend to disappear." But Jum couldn't forget. Over the next few days, he used his maintenance duties to access different parts of the station's database. He discovered that Dr. Yuma had filed multiple reports arguing for better treatment of specimen K7. In her latest report, she wrote, "Continued stasis is causing cellular deterioration. Specimen K7 shows signs of consciousness despite suppression measures. Ethical review urgently needed." Her requests were all denied. One evening, while working late on Level 5, June spotted Dr. Yuna leaving a lab. She looked worried and carried a data pad marked with the same classification code as the K7 files. June decided to take a risk. "Dr. Yuna," he called quietly. She turned sharply, surprised. "Maintenance worker, what are you doing here?" "My name is June. I want to talk about specimen K7. Her face paled. "Not here." She grabbed his arm and pulled him into an empty storage room. "How do you know about K7? "I saw it when I got lost in Section D. I've been researching since then." Dr. Yuna's expression changed from fear to interest. "What do you know?" "I know it's been kept in stasis for centuries. I know you've been trying to help it." She studied his face. "Why do you care about a creature that could kill everyone on this station?" "Because," Jum said simply, "it looked like it was suffering." Dr. Yuna was quiet for a long moment. Then she whispered, "It is. The stellar ursids were peaceful cosmic travelers. The Confederation hunted them because they feared their power. K7 is the last one we know of." "Is that what your research shows?" She nodded. "They're not just animals. They're intelligent, maybe more than us. But the Confederation will never admit they've been torturing a sentient being for 3 centuries. An alarm suddenly blared through the station. "What's happening?" June asked. Dr. Yuna checked her pad, her face tight with worry. "Power failure in Section D. The stasis field around K7 is failing." "Is that bad?" "If K7 wakes up," she said grimly, "everything changes." Red emergency lights flashed as June and Dr. Yuna raced through the corridors. People were running in the opposite direction, trying to get away from Section D. "All personnel evacuate levels 6 through 8 immediately," announced a calm voice over the speakers. "This is not a drill." Dr. Yuna grabbed June's arm. "You should go. This isn't your problem." "What will happen to the creature if the power stays off?" June asked. "The backup systems should keep it in stasis for another hour. After that, She didn't finish her sentence. An explosion rocked the station. June steadied himself against a wall. That was the main backup generator, Dr. Yuna said, checking her datapad. The auxiliary systems are failing too. A security officer approached them. Dr. Kim, you need to evacuate now. I need to check on my research first, she argued. No exceptions. Commander Kang's orders. The officer pointed to the evacuation route. Dr. Yuna gave June a meaningful look before following the officer. June understood. No one was going to help the stellar Ursid. Instead of evacuating, June headed toward Section D. He still had the access card Dr. Yuna had given him earlier. The hallways were empty now, with only emergency lights working. When he reached the massive door he had seen before, June hesitated. The warnings were clear. Danger. Dead lice specimen. Unauthorized. HFY forbidden. But he swiped the card anyway. To his surprise, the door opened with a heavy groan. Inside, the room was dark except for the blue glow coming from the tank. The liquid inside was bubbling, and the creature, the stellar Ursid, was moving slightly. Its eyes were still closed, but its massive paws twitched. June approached the control panel. It showed that the stasis field was at 42% and falling. Red warnings flashed across the screen. He remembered enough from his technical training to understand the basics of the system. If he could reroute power from other sections, he might be able to stabilize the stasis field. As he worked, Jun glanced at the creature. Up close, it was even more impressive. It was easily 3 times larger than an earth bear, with powerful limbs and thick fur that rippled with blue energy. Despite being called the deadliest predator in the galaxy, it looked peaceful, almost majestic. Suddenly, the creature's eyes opened. They glowed bright blue, like stars. It looked directly at June. June froze. He expected to feel fear, but instead, he felt something strange. A presence in his mind, gentle but powerful. "You are not like the others," a voice said inside his head. The voice was deep and ancient, like mountains speaking. You can talk," June whispered, stunned. "I can share thoughts. I have been awake, trapped in my own mind for centuries. They think their drugs keep me unconscious. They are wrong. What are you?" "My kind called themselves the Biol. Your kind named us stellar Ursids. I am the last." "Biol," Jun repeated. "That means star in my language. A fitting name. We were born in the hearts of dying stars." The creature's mental voice grew weaker. "The stasis field is returning. I will sleep again soon. For centuries more." June looked at the control panel. The emergency systems were starting to come back online. Soon, Biol would be trapped again. "What if I help you?" June asked suddenly. "What if I get you out?" The creature's blue eyes studied him. "Why would you risk your life for me?" "Because no one should be imprisoned for centuries. Because Dr. Yuna's research says you're not what they claim you are. You would free me, knowing what your kind believes me to be." June made his decision. He reached for the main control switch. "I'll help you. But promise me one thing. Don't hurt innocent people when you're free." The stellar Ursid's eyes glowed brighter. "You have my word, June of Earth. And a Biol never breaks a promise." With a deep breath, June turned off the remaining power to the stasis field. The liquid in the tank began to drain away. He had just made the biggest decision of his life. He had chosen to free the creature that the entire Galactic Confederation feared most. The liquid drained from the tank. The wires and tubes connected to Biol's body detached one by one. For the first time in centuries, the stellar Ursid stood on its own 4 paws. It was even larger than June had thought, nearly filling the room. Its blue fur dripped with the clear liquid, glowing brighter by the second. "Can you walk?" June asked, both in his mind and out loud. "I will remember how," Biol replied in June's thoughts. The massive creature took one shaky step, then another. Alarms suddenly blared throughout the section. A voice announced, "Warning! Containment breach in Section D12. Security teams deploy immediately. Lethal force authorized. We need to move, Joan said urgently. They'll be coming. Where can we go? This station is like a cage within a cage. Before June could answer, the door slid open. Dr. Yuna stood there, her face a mixture of shock and awe. You actually did it, she whispered, staring at Bayo. You freed it. Him, Joan corrected. His kind are called the Bayo. He can communicate telepathically. Dr. Yuna took a cautious step forward. Can he speak to me too? Bayo turned his massive head toward her. I can. Dr. Yuna Kim. I know you. You have studied me for years. You argued for my better treatment. Dr. Yuna's eyes widened. You were aware. All this time. Sometimes more than others. The drugs kept me in a fog, but I felt your concern. It was unexpected. The alarms grew louder. Dr. Yuna snapped back to the present danger. Security will be here in minutes, she said. They'll kill both of you if they find you here. Both of us? June asked. You think they'll let you live after releasing what they consider the most dangerous creature in the galaxy? We need a plan. June looked at Bayo. Can you hide somehow? Make yourself smaller. The stellar Ursid's body began to change. The blue light dimmed, and its massive form shrank until it was the size of a large dog. It still looked like a bear with glowing fur, but much less intimidating. This form uses less energy, Bayo explained. I cannot maintain it for long. That will help, Dr. Yuna said. But we still need to get off this level. I have an idea, Jun said. The maintenance tunnels. They run between all sections. We could reach the shuttle bay. And then what? Dr. Yuna asked. Steal a shuttle. The station's defense systems would blast us before we got a kilometer away. I need to reach open space, Bayo said. Away from this station. I can travel through the void on my own. Dr. Yuna looked skeptical. Without a ship. My kind was born in stars. Space is our natural home. A new voice came from June's pocket communicator. June, are you there? It's Ta. June answered quickly. Ta, how did you know to call me? I saw the security alert about Section D12. I figured it had to be you. The whole station is looking for you and Specimen K7. They're saying you sabotaged the containment field. Not exactly, Jun said. Listen, we need help. Can you access the security systems? I'm already in, Tay replied. But I can't hold them off for long. Security Chief Kang has ordered a full lockdown. What's your plan? June looked at Dr. Yuna and Bayo. We need to get to the shuttle bay. Can you clear a path? I can trigger false alarms in other sections to distract them, but you'll need to hurry. And June. Yes. Is it true? Did you really free the most dangerous creature in the galaxy? June watched as Bayo gently nudged Dr. Yuna's hand, almost like a pet seeking reassurance. The scientist cautiously patted the shrunken stellar Ursid's head. He's not what they told us, Ta. He's not a monster. He's been a prisoner, experimented on for centuries. Tai was quiet for a moment. Oak, I'm with you. Head to Maintenance Tunnel 7B. I'll guide you from there. As they stepped into the hallway, the station suddenly shook violently. Emergency lights flashed. What was that? June asked. Dr. Yuna checked her pad. It's not good. Commander Kang has called for reinforcements. What kind of reinforcements? The worst kind, she said grimly. A Confederation battlecruiser just dropped out of hyperspace. They're coming for Bayo. Move. Dr. Yuna pushed June toward the maintenance tunnel entrance. Bayo followed, still in his smaller form, but his fur was glowing brighter with each step. The tunnel was narrow and dark. Pipes and wires lined the walls. They crawled quickly, with Ta guiding them through June's communicator. Turn left at the next junction, Tay's voice crackled. Security teams are searching levels 6 and 8, but they haven't focused on the maintenance tunnels yet. As they crawled, Jun asked the question that had been bothering him. Baiyal, if your kind can travel through space, why didn't you escape before? The stasis field weakened me, Baiyal replied in their minds. And the drugs they used blocked my abilities. Even now, I am only at a fraction of my strength. They reached a vertical shaft. Looking up, Jun could see it extended many levels. We need to climb up 4 levels to reach the shuttle bay, Dr. Yuna said, studying the ladder built into the wall. Suddenly, Baiyal grew slightly larger. Hold on to me. Before they could ask what he meant, Baiyal's fur began to glow intensely. A blue field of energy surrounded them, and they began to float upward through the shaft. You can control gravity, Dr. Yuna gasped. Energy in all its forms, Baiyal replied. But it drains me quickly in my current state. They reached the top of the shaft just as Baiyal's energy field faded. He shrank back to his smaller size, his glow dimming. I need time to recover, he said, his mental voice weaker. Tay's voice came through the communicator again. The shuttle bay is just ahead, but there's a problem. Commander Kang is there with a security team. They're expecting you. Is there another way out? Jun asked. Not without going through the main hallways, which are all guarded now. Dr. Yuna pulled a small device from her pocket. I have a research override code. It might distract them long enough for us to reach a shuttle. And then what? Jun asked. Even if we get to a shuttle, the battlecruiser will shoot us down. Baiyal's eyes glowed. If I can reach open space, I can protect a small vessel long enough to escape. But I must be outside the ship. Outside? You mean in space? Jun was shocked. Even if you can survive in vacuum, how would you hold on to the shuttle? Trust me, was all Baiyal said. They reached the end of the maintenance tunnel. Through a small grate, they could see the shuttle bay. 5 security officers stood guard, with Commander Kang in the center. He was tall and intimidating in his black uniform. On my signal, Dr. Yuna whispered, I'll trigger a false alarm in the oxygen systems. When they respond, we run for Shuttle 3. It's the smallest and fastest. Jun nodded, his heart racing. Dr. Yuna pressed buttons on her device. Suddenly, loud alarms blared. Emergency. Oxygen failure in shuttle bay. Evacuate immediately, announced the station's computer. The security team looked confused. Commander Kang shouted into his communicator, trying to confirm the emergency. Now, Dr. Yuna kicked open the grate, and they ran. They were halfway to Shuttle 3 when Commander Kang spotted them. There they are. Fire, he ordered. Energy blasts hit the floor around them. Jun felt heat graze his arm. Baiyal suddenly grew to his full size, placing himself between the security team and his human friends. The energy blasts hit his fur and were absorbed, making him glow brighter. Get to the shuttle, Baiyal roared in their minds. Jun and Dr. Yuna reached Shuttle 3 and jumped inside. Dr. Yuna quickly started the engines while Jun opened the rear hatch. Baiyal, come on, he shouted. The massive stellar Ursid bounded toward them, dodging energy blasts. Just as he reached the shuttle, Commander Kang fired a special weapon. A net of glowing energy wrapped around Baiyal, making him roar in pain. No, Jun jumped out to help. Jun, wait, Dr. Yuna called, but he was already running toward Baiyal. The security team was closing in. Commander Kang smiled coldly. You're too late, human, he said to Jun. The specimen is Confederation property. And now, so are you. Baiyal's eyes met Jun's. In that moment, something passed between them. Understanding. Trust. Then Baiyal exploded with blue light so bright that everyone had to shield their eyes. When the light faded, the energy net was gone, and Baiyal stood tall, his full power unleashed for the first time in centuries. The blue light from Baiyal was blinding. Security officers dropped their weapons to cover their eyes. Commander Kang fell to his knees, his special weapon useless in his hands. When everyone could see again, Baiyal stood taller than before. His fur rippled with energy that seemed to bend the light around him. The floor beneath his paws glowed with heat. Back to the shuttle, Bayol's voice boomed in Jun's mind, stronger than ever. Jun ran to the shuttle where Dr. Yuna waited. Bayol followed, each step leaving blue paw prints that slowly faded. "Close the hatch," Dr. Yuna shouted as they boarded. "We need to launch now." "Wait," Jun said. "Bayol needs to be outside the shuttle, remember?" The stellar Ursid nodded. "Open the bay doors. I will join you in space." Dr. Yuna typed commands into the shuttle's computer. "The bay doors won't open. They've locked them down." Commander Kane's voice came over the shuttle's communication system. "Surrender now. The battlecruiser Iron Justice has weapons locked on this bay. There's nowhere to run." Bayol placed a massive paw on the shuttle wall. "I can open the bay doors, but you must be ready to fly immediately." "Do it," Jun said. Bayol turned toward the massive bay doors. He stood on his hind legs, now nearly 4 meters tall. His front paws stretched forward, and streams of blue energy flowed from them to the doors. Metal groaned. Warning lights flashed. The doors began to part slightly. "Fire," Commander Kang ordered. Energy blasts hit Bayol's back, but he didn't even flinch. The energy just made his fur glow brighter. "They don't understand," Bayol said, his mental voice sad. "It's time they learned the truth." The bay doors opened wider. The vacuum of space began to pull at everything not tied down. Security officers grabbed onto railings. Commander Kang was sucked toward the opening doors, but caught himself on a support beam. The shuttle's engines fired automatically to keep it in place. Inside, Jun and Dr. Yuna strapped themselves in. "What truth?" Jun asked. Bayol turned to face Commander Kang. Then, to everyone's surprise, he spoke out loud. His voice was deep and clear, even in the thinning air of the bay. "I am not what you think I am," Bayol said. "My kind were not predators. We were guardians." "Guardians?" Commander Kang struggled to hold on. "Of what?" "Of the galaxy itself. Of all life within it." Bayol's eyes glowed like twin stars. "Before your confederation existed, the Bayol protected the galactic core from destructive energy anomalies that would have destroyed all life." Images suddenly filled everyone's minds. Massive bear-like creatures swimming through space, absorbing deadly radiation from dying stars, guiding asteroid fields away from inhabited planets. "For millions of years, we kept balance," Bayol continued, "until your ancestors found us and feared our power. They didn't understand that we were protectors, not destroyers." Dr. Yuma gasped. "The first interstellar ships. The historical records say they had special energy cores that allowed them to travel faster than light. They used us," Bayol confirmed. "Captured us, drugged us, used our energy to power their ships and stations. That is why they hunted us almost to extinction." Commander Kang's face showed shock. "That can't be true. The Confederation wouldn't." "Look at your own family history, Commander," Bayol interrupted. "Your ancestor, Admiral Yuan Kang, led the final hunt for my kind. His ship, the First Light, was powered by the energy of captured Bayol." Commander Kang's grip on the beam loosened. His face went pale. "How do you know that name?" he whispered. "I remember every face of those who imprisoned us." And Admiral Kang's face was much like yours. The bay doors were fully open now. Space stretched before them, beautiful and dark. The battlecruiser Iron Justice was visible in the distance, moving toward the station. "The time for truth has come," Bayol said. "Will you choose to continue the crimes of the past, Commander Kang? Or will you help end them?" Commander Kang's face showed a battle of emotions. Doubt, anger, confusion. He looked at Bayol, then at the approaching battlecruiser. "Even if what you say is true," he finally said, "I have my orders." "Orders based on lies," Dr. Yuna called from the shuttle doorway. She held up her datapad. "I've studied specimen K7, Bayol, for years. My research proves he's telling the truth. Look at this. She pressed a button, and holographic images appeared in the air. They showed scans of Bayol's brain activity during captivity, patterns that matched those of highly intelligent species. The Confederation has known for at least 50 years that the stellar Ursids are sentient, she said. They classified my findings because it would mean admitting to centuries of illegal imprisonment and experimentation on a sentient species. The security officers looked at each other uncertainly. One lowered her weapon. The battlecruiser was getting closer. A message came through all communication channels. This is Captain Ho of the battlecruiser Iron Justice. Return specimen K7 to containment immediately, or we will take action. You have 5 minutes to comply. June stepped forward, standing beside Bayol. His heart was racing, but his voice was steady. Commander Kang, you need to make a choice. The right choice. He pointed to the stars visible through the open bay doors. Out there is a living being who was imprisoned for 300 years, just because your ancestors were afraid of what they didn't understand. Commander Kang's communicator beeped. Commander, this is the bridge. We're receiving messages from throughout the station. Everyone saw the images that the creature sent. People are asking questions. Some are gathering outside your location. What? Commander Kang looked confused. Tay's voice came from June's communicator. I broadcast everything to the whole station. Bayol's story, Dr. Yuna's research, all of it. And I'm sending it to other stations too. The truth is getting out. You had no right. Commander Kang began. Everyone has a right to know that the Confederation built its power on slavery and lies. June interrupted. He took another step forward. I'm just a maintenance worker. I fix things. Right now, this situation needs fixing. He turned to face not just Commander Kang, but all the security officers and the camera drones that had appeared to broadcast the confrontation. The Bayol protected this galaxy before we even reached the stars. We repaid them with imprisonment and pain. That ends today with us. Right here. Bayol stood tall beside him, glowing blue against the backdrop of space. The image was being transmitted across the station and beyond. I don't ask for revenge, Bayol said, his voice reaching everyone's minds. I ask for freedom. For a chance to find others of my kind who may still sleep in hidden prisons. For a chance to resume our ancient duty as guardians. The battlecruiser was now visible through the bay doors, its weapons ports open and glowing. Final warning, Captain Ho's voice announced. Return the specimen, or we will fire. Commander Kang looked at his family ring, the one that had belonged to Admiral Kang centuries ago. Then he looked at Bayol and June. My family has carried the title of Heroes of the Confederation for generations, he said quietly. I grew up hearing stories about my ancestor, the great admiral who helped secure humanity's place among the stars. He took a deep breath. I never questioned how he did it. I never asked what price was paid. He removed his ring and looked at it one last time before putting it in his pocket. Captain Ho, Commander Kang said into his communicator. This is Commander Kang. I am ordering my security teams to stand down. What? You're disobeying direct orders. I'm refusing to participate in a crime, Commander Kang replied. And I'm not alone. Around the shuttle bay, security officers were lowering their weapons one by one. Outside in the corridors, station personnel had gathered, watching through viewports. The Confederation Council will hear about this, Captain Ho threatened. Good, Commander Kang said. It's about time they did. 2 weeks later, June stood nervously in the Great Hall of the Galactic Council. The room was enormous, with tall windows showing the stars outside. Beings from 100 different worlds sat in rising circular rows, all looking down at him. Bayol stood beside him, his blue fur glowing softly. Dr. Yuma and Commander Kang waited nearby. The head counselor, an ancient being with silvery skin, spoke in a deep voice. After reviewing all evidence, this council has reached a decision regarding the stellar Ursid known as Bayol and the human June Park. The room went silent. For 300 years, the Confederation has hidden the truth about the Bile species. This council finds this deception and imprisonment to be in violation of the Sentient Rights Agreement. Murmurs spread through the hall. The head counselor raised a hand for silence. Bile, last known member of the stellar Ursid species, you are hereby granted full sentient rights and protected status. The counselor turned to June. Human June Park, you faced serious charges for your actions. June swallowed hard. He knew he could have been sentenced to prison for freeing Bile. However, the counselor continued, this council recognizes that you acted with moral courage in the face of a great injustice. Therefore, all charges against you are dismissed. Relief flooded through June. But the counselor wasn't finished. Furthermore, we award you the Outstanding, the highest civilian honor in the galaxy for ethical courage. Your actions remind us that justice must come before rules, and compassion before fear. A small floating robot approached, carrying a medal that glowed with shifting colors. The head counselor placed it around June's neck. I thank you, June said, his voice shaking. But I didn't do this for awards. I just wanted to help someone who was suffering. And that, the counselor said, is precisely why you deserve it. Bile stepped forward. His deep voice filled everyone's minds. Honored council, I have important news to share. I am not the last of my kind. Shocked whispers filled the hall. During my imprisonment, I maintained a faint connection with others of my kind. They are in deep hibernation, hidden throughout the galaxy. With help, they can be found and awakened. The council members leaned forward with interest. For millions of years, the Bile protected this galaxy from cosmic threats. We wish to resume this duty, but as allies, not alone. Working together with other species will make us all stronger. The head counselor nodded slowly. The council will provide all possible assistance in this mission. Later, as they left the hall, June still couldn't believe what had happened. A simple maintenance worker, now wearing the galaxy's highest honor. What will you do now? Dr. Yuma asked him. I'm going with Bile, June said without hesitation. He gave me coordinates for the first hibernating stellar Ursid. Someone needs to help wake them up. Commander Kang approached. The council has given us a ship for your mission. I've volunteered to captain it. You're coming too. June was surprised. Kang nodded. My family started this injustice. I want to help end it. Dr. Yuma smiled. Well, you'll need a xenobiologist. Count me in. Bile's eyes glowed warmly. Friends, we face a long journey. The first of my kind sleeps in a distant star system, and there will be those who oppose us. The Confederation may have officially apologized, but many still fear the Bile. Let them fear, June said with a smile. We know the truth now. 1 month later, their ship New Dawn left space dock. On the bridge, June stood beside Bile, looking at the stars spreading before them. Ready? June asked. Ready, Bile replied. Thanks to you, June of Earth, my kind has a future again. As the ship accelerated to light speed, June touched the medal at his neck. The Outstanding, they called it. But to him, the real reward was much simpler. The friendship of the being beside him, and the knowledge that sometimes one small act of kindness could change the entire galaxy.